This week, we really try and hone in on the reason why novels don't actually get selected by publishers and literary agents. And a lot of the time, it is nothing to do with your skill as a writer. There are several factors that seem to come up again and again. So this is a mini masterclass on what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to commissioning novels and being, say, a commissioning editor. So the first would be, is your novel too clinical? So one thing that comes up again and again is when we read the opening of a novel, everything is there on paper. There's an event going on, a character is introduced, we have a feel that something is going to happen, but it all starts to feel a little bit sterile in a way. It almost feels like it's too well written. There's details of the event, there's descriptions, but it doesn't feel like we have an idea of who the writer is. It's almost been written too clinically. We feel it's been well constructed, it's good writing, but it is almost that we just don't understand why we are reading it as a reader. There's something not present that we need to engage us. And this may sound harsh as criticism, but it's normally because the opening is the thing that we've tried to construct that's going to get people's attention. We've not actually put enough of ourselves into it. A great example of an opening I love is Eliza Clark's Boy Parts. Stuff is happening while the author's introducing her characters. Her narrative voice just feels so unapologetic. There's something fun, there's something quite raw about that character in the first person that just draws me in, rather than the story that's being panned out, rather than the secondary characters, rather than the scene. I want to read that book, I want to carry on reading that book because of the voice that's been put in. There's something just quite sarcastic, there's something quite raw about it that is entertaining. So when it comes to either going through my submissions pile and persevering with a novel that I think's good, I'd actually prefer to be reading Eliza Clark's Boy Parts instead. And then there's that question of writing something too polished, that we kind of take away the things that we've learned about ourselves and life in general from our manuscript. It's like when I wrote Joined Up, that was a story about depression and mental health, and I feel that there should be a bit of introspection needed in a lot of novels. That we're not just trying to tell a story of this happened here and this happened then. We're trying to throw ourselves into it. We're trying to explore what we know about life and everything that we kind of want to say as a human. We want to almost unleash the shackles and throw ourselves into the book, as well as have it brilliantly crafted. We kind of need that. We kind of need that element into our narrative voice to make it exciting, to make it interesting. It's this element of making a reader find your novel realistic by throwing parts of yourself into it, of really plumbing the depth of your character. And we're not just talking about the good side or making your narrator sound like your internal voice. It's almost looking at your kind of deepest, darkest desires and secrets that you would not want the world to know, and almost put that into your narrative voice, into some of your characters as well. So you have this way of almost shocking your reader without having to be too explicit. You're doing something that will surprise the reader, have them really engage with you because they feel that they are relating through your writing with a real human being who has been through something, who has got an idea of something that they've gone through. That makes a novel less clinical, that makes a novel interesting and exciting to a reader. And if you've got that in the first few pages, then your reader or your literary agent or your publisher, they will then want to read on and not get distracted by the rest of the books in their to be read pile.